Welcome. I'm Nicola Schumacher, very proud to say that I'm the daughter of E.F. Schumacher, who set up this wonderful charity, Practical Action. It's the 50th anniversary of Practical Action's establishment this year, 2016, and to celebrate that we're putting together an anniversary quilt that we want all supporters of Practical Action to be involved in. In this video I'm going to tell you two things. Firstly, how to make a quilt square so that you can take part, and secondly, how you might involve other people in doing that. So making a quilt square is really simple. You need, ideally, some recycled orange material. This was taken from an old t-shirt. You need another square of material to act as backing, and this was taken from an old sheet. Both those squares need to be 12 inches square, about the length of a long ruler. You also need an embroidery hoop that is 8 inches. A pair of scissors is useful, not essential. A reel of orange thread, needles. I need this because my eyes are failing, so a threader, and of course lots of buttons. So first of all, take your embroidery hoop. You can unscrew it at the side to release the inner hoop from the outer hoop. You want to take the smaller inner hoop and use that as your base, and then take the liner material, lay it on top of the small hoop so that the hoop is in the centre of your square. Then take the orange material, lay that on top in the same way so that the hoop is central. There we go, I think that's mine, about central. Then take your larger hoop and that will squeeze nicely on top. Stretch your fabric so that you've got a good sewing surface. You might have to let it a bit looser or tighten it up a bit, but you should end up with a nice stretched piece of fabric, the hoop firmly in place, and now you're ready to sew on your buttons. You want them to be in a 7-inch circle like that, so you want to be sewing in 1 inch from the edge of your hoop. Here's one that I'm doing at the moment. And so I've tacked a thread all the way round the hoop, roughly 1 inch within the hoop, to show where I want to sew the buttons within. So that should produce a nice neat circle. So the Practical Action Anniversary Quilt project has 3 aims. The first is to allow supporters like you and me to show our support for Practical Action by taking part. The second is to give us an opportunity to talk to other people about Practical Action's work and their projects. The third is to raise some funds, because we thought there's no point doing this wonderful project and not also raising funds for the work that Practical Action do. So you might want to take a quilt square to work, to your local club, to church, just to friends and family. But whatever you do, you also need to take information, and you also need to ask for those £1 donations per button. Now, what I did earlier on this year was I had my neighbours round for a New Year's tea party. And when I did that, I made a display a bit like this so that they could get some information about Practical Action while they were here and make their donations. So Practical Action will help you with this. They will provide you with leaflets, basic leaflets about Practical Action's work and projects. Okay, I also have Small World, which is wonderful because it's got the 50 years celebration inside, so that's really key. Practical Action will also, if you want, give you a few copies of Small is Beautiful for you to sell on for a donation of £5 a book. Obviously you also need a whole load of buttons so that people can pick their buttons, ideally loads of buttons. I got this as a job lot from the market. So you want a whole load of buttons that people can sift through and then buy and donate. I have a little bowl here for the buttons that they donate, and then, very importantly, somewhere where they can put their coins. Finally, there is a document you can download from the website that's all about the 50-year anniversary quilt project that people might like to read for a bit of background. I've also got a leaflet that came through from Practical Action about the Squash Hunger campaign. There's anything you've got that you think is interesting, put it out and talk to people about Practical Action, and they're super work.